guys, it's Timmy, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it is August 31st, 2024, and today was WWE Bash in Berlin. I'm going to say right now, I love this show. I thought this show was really, really good. Even when I really didn't get too invested in the women's tag title match, I still thought it was a really good match. I still thought all four women did their job well, did a good job, and really showed out in that match. But overall, I thought this show was great. I thought this show was amazing. And I thought, I might have just seen my new favorite match of all time. I know best match I've seen this month in professional wrestling, for sure. Gunther, Randy Orton in the main event of Bash in Berlin. Give them all the stars. Give them all the stars. Like, for sure, 100%. This match was awesome. Gunther, Randy Orton went out there and killed it. Let me get the times really fast. I didn't get times. Let me go to the wiki. Wikipedia for Bash in Berlin. I feel like that match went about 25. Could be wrong. 35. See, there you go. A match that goes that long but doesn't feel that long. I'm like, there's no way this match passed 30, but it did. And that is a testament to those two, Gunther and Randy Orton, having a almost 35-minute match, 34 minutes and 28 seconds, and it not feeling like it even hit the 30 mark. That is a testament to two greats. Randy's always been one of my favorites. He has always been in my top 5. And tonight just showed why Randy Orton's one of my favorites of all time. So, yeah, I'm just going to say it right here. Randy Orton, Gunther. If I have to do a match of the week thing, like in the last 7 days, what was the best match? And it'd be this one. And I know people are going to say, what about MJF and Will Ospreay? What about Swerve and Danielson? No offense. In my opinion, and everyone's entitled to their own opinions, like this match better. I thought this was the best match we've seen in pro wrestling, at least in the last month, if not farther back. So, yeah. Great match here from both guys. These two killed it. I can't wait to recap it for you guys. But before we get into everything here, Bash in Berlin, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, head over to YouTube and help us out over there. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. If you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by heading over and hitting that join button to become a channel member. As a channel member, you can subscribe even just at the $1 tier. We greatly appreciate it, whether that is here on YouTube or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And then also remember to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air. You can do so by donating a super chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game, or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Bunch of new games coming out right now. We got Star Wars Outlaws. We got Black Myth Wukong. We've got Monster Jam Showdown. Squirrel with a gun. All available on the Epic Game Store. And when you do so, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout. Also, Spider-Man's coming to Fall Guys. You may want to get that skin. Use this code. Free games also right now. Fallout Classic Collection, all great banger games, and Wild Card Football, which is fun as well. Give me 1 second. I need to look something up. Someone sent me something, but I want to just double check it before I even read this, like potentially on the air. Okay. No. Anywho, as far as this show does go, the show itself had some interesting tidbits on the pre-show. I watched the pre-show. Woke up this morning and I go, well, the pre-show starts soon. Ran downstairs, got me a good, nice Dr. Pepper, and came back up and put on the pre-show. Pre-show panel started off with Michael Cole, Big E, and The Miz, and they played an interview where Randy Orton basically confirmed, I think it was Fightful who first reported this, their report that the people in that main event, or at least some of the people in that main event at Survivor Series last year, were told ahead of time, Punk's here. Punk's returning. He's coming out at the end of the show. Because Randy Orton stated it. Because, well, first off, Michael Cole asked him, what are your thoughts on CM Punk being back? And he said, because he was basically like, what were your thoughts on returning at Survivor Series, being in the War Games match, but then CM Punk stealing all the attention afterwards? And he's like, I knew he was coming out. Triple H pulled me aside about an hour before our match and was like, hey, so glad to have you back. This is the plan for the match. This is what we're going to do. And oh, one other thing. CM Punk series returning and he's coming out after your match. So that did confirm those reports. I think Fightful, again, like I stated, was the first one to report that. Others had reported it after that as well. But there was that. Miz did like a pilot for a possible new show, which actually was really, really good. It's called Main Event Menu, where they go to a city and he just goes around the city trying food and drinks. This could be something. Like, Miz was amazing in this segment, in this video. It was like 10 minutes maybe. This is something I could see on Food Network or the Travel Channel. Like, hands down, no ifs, ands, buts about it. Easily, I could see this on Food Network or the Travel Channel. Main Event Menu. Miz just going around saying, hey, I was told I need to check out this place because you guys serve this. Let's see it. It's like Miz's version of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. But yeah, without the knowledge of an actual chef in Guy Fieri. So I liked this. I thought this was really good. I thought Miz killed it. Miz is an amazing host. Miz is a really good pro wrestler. We'll never say he's the best bell-to-bell pro wrestler. We'll never say he's a top 50 bell-to-bell pro wrestler. But I will say that Miz is good in his role in pro wrestling, great talker, amazing on-camera guy, amazing host, and amazing at the things they ask him to do because he'll do anything. So there was one other thing. Let me double check. I know there was one other thing from the pre-show that was of note. I could check it here. Where is it? Oh, it was a little funny thing. I can't show it, but I'll tell you. After they did the Miz segment, the main event menu video, Miz brought donuts. And he's like, hey, Jackie, try this one. It's maple bacon. And she's like, I'm from Canada. I'd love to try the maple bacon, but I'm going to go with a round donut, a circle donut. Miz is like, why? And she goes, because I know how that might look if I try that one on TV. And I'm like, Jackie is smart. She knows what the internet's going to do. So there's that. And then also another funny spot. So it was two other funny moments from the pre-show. They were doing the interview with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. And they were talking about, you know, how long have you known each other? And Kevin's like, well, I met Cody 2015 when I came to the main roster. But, you know, I instantly clicked with Cody because I had such a connection with his father, Dusty. And Cody goes, yeah, such a connection that there's a photo of when we're unveiling my dad's statue. It's all family. And the photos and the camera's slowly panning back. And then it goes, zoom, and Kevin just standing there off to the side. I laughed so hard. No, he said, and Kevin on the outside. And then there's another funny moment. They were doing a Gunther video, hyping up the main event and everything. And he's working out, and he does, I think it's called a clean. I don't know, these lifts and everything where you squat down and then you pop the weights up here above you, the bar and everything. And he drops it and he goes, you know, he says all these different things. And he's like, you got to be very specific when you're doing your workouts. And then he starts doing these stretches where it's basically he's turning his body and he's extending his leg. You can't really see that. He's like, turns his body, you know, and he's extending his leg out, right? And he goes, maybe I should do some breakdancing in the Olympics. I lost it. I howled. It was so funny. So funny. But as far as the show itself does go, it did open up with that undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. And the whole story of this match is, What version of Kevin Owens are we going to get? Are we going to get the heel Kevin Owens? Are we going to get the I don't care about anybody Kevin Owens? Or is he going to be new, remorseful, and changed? And I didn't like this Kevin Owens. I'm not saying I didn't like the match. I'm saying that this is not our Kevin Owens. Our Kevin Owens is not a man who shows his opponent remorse, not a man who doesn't dive into an injury and beat ass. This is a man that Cody starts selling the knee, and he's just like, I'll wait for him to get up. What? You think you are, Will Ospreay, afraid to hit the Tiger Driver or something? So anyways, as far as the match itself does go, it did go 23 minutes and 16 seconds. Both guys entered big reactions from the crowd and shook hands as the bell rang. Loud dueling chants early on. Kevin Owens, let's go Kevin, Cody Rhodes. Let's go Kevin, Cody Rhodes. So Owens easily countered Rhodes' attempt for a Cody cutter early on and a disaster kick. They countered each other's finishers early on as well, and then went nose to nose, but in a friendly manner in the middle of the ring. Owens then caught Rhodes' suicide dive attempt and hit a cannonball off the apron. Rhodes then knocked Owens off the apron with a disaster kick and hit a suicide dive. The crowd sang Rhodes' name as he took over. I don't know how they did this in France as well. What are they actually chanting? It sounds like Cody Rhodes or something like that. I don't know. I got hearing problems, so half the time I can't tell what the crowd's chanting anyways. Anywho, Rhodes applies a figure four, but Owens gets to the ropes to break it. They made this like a big deal that he put the figure four on him. I don't know why. Owens then knocked Rhodes out of the ring and hit a frog splash off the apron. They knocked each other down with clotheslines, but Rhodes fired up and hit a power slam and a disaster kick back in the ring for a 2. Owens blocked the Cody cutter again and hit a German suplex and a super kick, but Rhodes came back with the Cody cutter for a 2. They exchanged strikes until Owens hit a pump handle neck breaker for a 2. Owens then hit a rolling senton off the middle rope and got a 2 off of it. The crowd then chanted, "This is awesome." Rhodes did block a stunner attempt at one point and hit a crossroads for a near fall. Owens hit an avalanche fisherman's buster and got it, well, you guessed it, a 2 off of it. They punched each other wildly before trading super kicks. Rhodes went for a super cutter, but his leg gave out and he fell. Owens was about to go after the leg and then stopped himself going, nope, I'm going to wait. Let him check him, ref, ask him if he's good to go. And I'm just like, this isn't Kevin Owens. What are we doing? It didn't pull me away from the match like you would think maybe. Like I wasn't just like, this is stupid. What are they? It was more of like a, what are we doing here? I don't like this. I don't know. Wouldn't have been my choice to get this kind of a Kevin Owens. It was weird and it felt way out of character. Owens eventually did, though, once he realized Cody was okay, kicked the leg. Owens then set it for a power bomb on the edge of the ring and then stopped himself again. And I'm just like, Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett's yelling at him like, what are you doing? Why are you not going after him? You've lost your killer instinct. And Owens goes, shut up, you idiot. He looks right at Barrett because they're standing right in front of the announce table as Barrett's saying this. He's like, Kevin, what are you doing? You've lost your killer instinct. So Owens then hit a stunner in the ring. Rhodes hit consecutive crossroads, and Owens reversed the third one into a stunner for a near fall. Crowd then chants, holy shit. Owens tried a swanton bomb, but Rhodes got his knees up. That hurt the already injured knee, and he managed to hit a crossroads to get the pinfall victory. Also, one thing I didn't note because it kind of played into the match, but didn't really. They said that Cody's got a rib deal, and he was having trouble breathing at points in this match. So I thought it was a really good match. Fantastic opening match. But there was just some things that felt off about the Kevin Owens character that we got in this match. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the Kevin Owens we got in this match. Afterwards, a very dejected Kevin Owens went over to Cody Rhodes. They embraced, and Owens eventually hugs Rhodes and raises his hands. So it's just like, good match. I thought these two worked perfect together. Like, give me this again, but not with this version of KO. And I get it. Everyone's probably sitting here watching this match going, when's Kevin going to attack? When's Kevin going to beat him down? When are we going to get that heel turn? When's Kevin going to give him that powerbomb? And he didn't do any of that. He didn't do any of the Kevin Owens stuff. It felt like Cody went out there and just had a match with anybody. And I don't like saying that, especially to Kevin Owens, one of my favorite of all time. But it felt like this wasn't a Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens match. This was Cody Rhodes having a match with just a great pro wrestler, if you know what I mean. Because I felt like, yeah, he hit the stunner. Yeah, he went for a swanton. But other than those few moves that we know are Kevin Owens' moveset, it didn't feel like a Kevin Owens match, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Also, congratulations to Christopher Bell, who just won the Xfinity race at Darlington. Feel bad for old Sheldon Creed, who had this match or had this race won with 6 laps to go, and then the caution came out and he lost because Sheldon Creed needs to get that first win. He needs that first win. He's moving over to Haas next year. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, Bash in Berlin. Second match of the night. Women's tag team titles are on the line. It was the unholy union, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, defending against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. The match itself went 12 minutes and 2 seconds. Not a bad match, but it was if you're going to rank all the matches, it was the lowest match of the night, of course, but it still was good. You could tell that Jade's improving, Jade's getting better, and she worked with 2 great pro wrestlers, and she has Bianca there to keep her in check sometimes as well. Belair was in control early on, but the champs double teamed her to take control. Cargill finally decided to inject herself here and fire. But Fire hit a suicide dive. Actually, I forgot to write the start of this match. So the match starts, and I think it was Wade goes, looks like Isla Dawn's going to start this match. But then Alba Fire doesn't get out of the ring, and he goes, or maybe Alba? And so they're like, Bianca's in the ring. She's standing there like, let's go. And they're both like circling Bianca kind of. And the ref's kind of just looking like, I only need one of you. And so Jade eventually gets in the ring, and he's like, 1-1. Anywho. Belair then fought back and made the hot tag to Cargill, who knocked over both women. She gave Dawn a spine buster and Fire a fall-away slam. She then gave Dawn what looked to be like a jackhammer-ish kind of move. Only got a 2 off of it. Belair then tagged in, but Dawn and Fire gave her a combo gory bomb flatliner. Cargill then broke up the cover. Cargill and Belair worked together, and Cargill slammed Belair onto Fire for a 2. Fire then tried a senton bomb with Belair on Dawn's knees, and Belair moved. Fire crashed onto Dawn. Cargill then hit Dawn with a combo DDT into a German suplex, and Cargill pinned Dawn to pick up the victory and become new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. So very, very cool. We got new champs, and we go to the post show and the press conference, and there's a couple of interesting things here. First off, Jade gets a comment or a question from the media, and it was, you've been here for a little while now. What's the difference you've noticed from working over at AEW to now coming to WWE? And Bianca, how has it been being the one here to like bring Jade in and help Jade get not immaculated, that's the wrong word, get used to the WWE way of things? And Jade just goes, hey, I ain't answering no more AEW questions. I've been there. I was happy, glad to have my time there, but I'm here. I'm WWE and I'm full time, and I ain't answering questions about that no more. And I was like, God damn, okay. Then we get another guy ask him a question, and he's like, I never like to pit 2 black women against each other, but how can 2 women like you guys coexist and share the spotlight? And I'm just like, first off, what does that matter about race? I get what your question is. 2 successful singles wrestlers now together as a successful tag team. How do you share the spotlight? Why did he have to bring race up in that? Why did the guy literally have to start his question with, I never like to pit 2 black women against each other, but what? What kind of freaking question is that, guy? What are you talking about? Also, Triple H was not at the press conference. Apparently, Triple H either wasn't at the show, I don't know for sure, either wasn't at the show at all or left early because according to Cody, college is starting up. Triple H's oldest daughter is going to college for the first time, and he wanted to be there to help send her off to college. So I don't know if this meant that he wasn't at the show at all tonight, or that he left early, like as soon as the show left or whatnot. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But Cody read the notes, highest grossing arena show in WWE ever, and this and that. And we were glad to be here in Germany and a great tour. And Cody was the point man for all the business stuff, which makes sense because he's done it in the past. And I saw the comments on Twitter. No, this was not Triple H not wanting to do the press conference because of the swerve stuff. I don't even know if those were Triple H's comments to Dave anyways. Who knows? I don't think Dave directly talks to goddamn Hunter, Paul. Anyways, we then get the strap match. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. Boy, howdy, was this match great. This and the main event. Oh my God, we got both these matches on the same show. Love it. So, Samantha Irvin tells us the rules of the strap match. You must knock your opponent down long enough, or at least have your opponent down in a way long enough that allows you to walk to every corner and hit the top turnbuckle pad. If you are CM Punk, a green light will emanate. If you are Drew McIntyre, a red light will emanate. As you hit the pads, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you hit that fourth one, you are the winner. But then things got a little confusing. Because it was, how do your lights turn off? And they played it up two different ways, actually, in this match. They stated that once your momentum is broken, your lights will turn off. But then at one point it was if your opponent hits one after you hit one, then yours are off and theirs are on. But then there was a whole thing where they each hit 3. I don't know. I was a little confused by that, where it was they each hit 3 and there was one left for each of them and they're fighting to get to it, and they knock each other down. So I was a little confused by the whole, what really turns the lights off? Is it a judgment call? The momentum thing is a judgment call. If we're calling this real ball stick of ball sport, it's a referee umpire's judgment call. And then sometimes they were like, "Oh, that's going to turn the lights off." Then we get a shot and the lights are still on, and then eventually they turn off. It was a thing. But as far as these two in this match, was it great? Was it great? They're strapped together, and we go. McIntyre attacks Punk before the match even begins, though. And that leads Michael Cole to go, no. Yeah, it leads Michael Cole to call McIntyre a hypocrite, stating, McIntyre's been mad that CM Punk has attacked him multiple times from behind. Yet now what does he just do? He just attacks CM Punk from behind. I mean, he's given Punk a dose of his own medicine. Eventually, they get back into the ring. They put the straps on their wrist. And then the referee goes, all right. Ring it, like he was reluctant to be like, I don't know what we're about to see, but these two are going to kill each other. McIntyre begins the assault here early on until Punk suddenly just hits GTS out of nowhere. Punk decided not to go to the corners, though, and started whipping McIntyre with the strap. Punk then looks under the ring, so McIntyre hit him from behind. McIntyre then gave Cole a death stare for calling him a hypocrite. McIntyre then set up for a DDT on the announce table, but Punk gave him a back body drop and whipped him some more with a strap. Punk then stepped off the table and was stepped off the table he was standing on to grab a separate table from under the ring. McIntyre then headbutted him and put the table away. McIntyre then attacked him with a steel chair. They hammered away at each other, and Punk came up bleeding. They say thanks to the headbutt. I don't know exactly when he started to bleed, but it was right around that spot. McIntyre set up a chair in the corner. He wedged it in there. Took his time and wedged it in there. Punk then hit a knee and a bulldog. Chair comes into play later. Punk finally set up the table, and McIntyre rolled back into the ring. Punk then had to follow him because, well, one guy's in the ring, one guy's out of the ring. The guy with the... So when you have these strapped, and you're strapped together, usually the person with the height advantage, as far as like the elevation advantage, is going to have the advantage. So it's like Punk could have tried to pull McIntyre out of the ring, but McIntyre being up more and being able to, he had more of the advantage, so Punk had to go to him. Punk jumps in the ring and immediately takes a Claymore. McIntyre then touches 1, touches 2, touches 3 buckles, but Punk yanks McIntyre out of the ring. Well, Punk jumps out of the ring, yanks the strap. McIntyre goes head first into the chair that he had set up in the corner. Punk then touched 3 buckles himself, but McIntyre stopped him and dropped him on top of that table on the outside that he had set up earlier, which was a cool spot. Because it looks like, I don't know exactly what Punk's going for, but like McIntyre pulls Punk in, lifts him up. Punk then like grabs him around the head like he's going to do a bulldog, but then McIntyre cradles him like a baby, just drops him over the top rope, right through that table. McIntyre then hoisted Punk back into the ring by his arm and shoulder, basically just yanking his shoulder out of socket. Pulls him into the corner, and Punk touches the corner. Or no, he yanks him into the ring, he touches the corner, Punk then touches the corner. McIntyre touches a corner, Punk then touches a corner. Barrett tried to explain that this shouldn't count, but Cole screamed that it does. And I'm with Barrett. This shouldn't count. If McIntyre touches a corner, then Punk touches a corner, it should either turn off the light, like no lights should be on, or only Punk's light should be on. It's whoever touches last starts their sequence, in my opinion. So the lights are on, and then they start fighting to go to the 4th light. They're holding each other back. They're getting there. They're struggling, and then eventually they boot each other for a double down spot. Punk then applies the sharpshooter. McIntyre starts tapping out. Referee jumps down and goes, "Hey, you could tap all you want, but nothing I could do." He's like, "Break the hold, make him break the hold." And he grabs the bottom rope for the rope break, and the ref's just looking down like, "Drew, I can't. There's no DQ. There's no tap. None of that." So McIntyre eventually passes out, and Punk realizes it and gets up. He touches 1 corner, he touches 2 corners, and then McIntyre yanks him down with a strap, pulls him in, and hits him with a neck breaker. McIntyre then pulls the bracelet out of his trunks and puts it on his wrist. It's a claymore and starts to touch corners. He touches a couple of the corners, but then Punk pulls him in and hits a GTS. Then things kind of get a little weird, but then they don't at the same time. Punk sees the bracelet, grabs McIntyre, hits another GTS. Punk touches a buckle. Pulls in McIntyre, hits another GTS, touches a buckle. Decides, I'm going to hit a 4th. Well, then he touches 2 buckles. Then he goes, I'm going to hit a 4th GTS. Touches a buckle. Well, actually, grabs the bracelet off of him, touches the buckle, and wins the match. So, with 4 GTSs, CM Punk does defeat Drew McIntyre. So there we go. They're now 1-1 technically. Drew won at SummerSlam. Punk is 1 here. Now afterwards, Punk goes and celebrates in the crowd. He celebrates with UFC's Owen Elliott. And then, he gets a standing ovation for the crowd in Berlin. But then we get something interesting after. Well, after the show ends and we're watching the post show and all that, Kathy Kelly interviews CM Punk, and she's like, "Hey, you beat Drew. You got the bracelet back. What's next?" He's like, "Well, I got a main event to go worry about. I beat Drew. I'm done with Drew. My eyes are now set on that World Heavyweight Championship." And I go, wait. You're 1-1. You are not done. And Drew is not going to let you be done. So Punk thinks that it is done, that the story is over, that he can move on. He wants to go for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yet it's like, that's a weird tease. That's a really weird tease. I think it's going to Bad Blood and we're getting that Hell in a Cell match. Feeling Cole. So we have the mixed tag team match next up. Also, that match went 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Next up is the mixed tag team match. This is just a super fun, cool match. Like, this is a match where it's just like, you want to watch a match that you're just going to have fun watching? That does kind of mean something because there's a story behind it, but at the same time really doesn't mean anything. Go watch this match. This match is just a load of fun. Anywho, Mike Cole insulted Dominic Mysterio's physique or lack of muscle tone during his entrance, which is kind of funny. So Priest beat up Dom early on as the crowd chanted, "We want mommy. We want mommy." Priest was about to tag her in, but Dom escaped and tagged Morgan. So, well, she gets tagged in anyways. Morgan got in Priest's face, but Ripley flew in with a drop kick. Ripley then beat up Morgan until Dom tagged in and Priest beat him up again. Morgan distracted Priest, so Dom shoved him into the announce desk and drove him into the steel steps. Dom then took over and Morgan gave Priest a cheap shot. Crowd then chanted, "Fuck you, Dom. Fuck you, Dom." Ripley then made the hot tag and hit Morgan with a German suplex and a knee strike. Ripley saw Dom get to his feet and he tried to plead with her, going, "Mommy, come on. We're cool, right?" And then Ripley went for a riptide on Dom, but, well, Liv made the save. Cut her off and hit her with the code breaker. Morgan then hit a nice crucifix bomb. They only got a 2 off of it. Priest then tagged in and hit Dom with a running clothesline, but Morgan broke up the cover. Priest and Ripley then each hit razor's edges. Ripley then chucked Morgan from the ring as Priest set up Dom for a clothesline. JD McDonough then tried to interfere, but Priest knocked him off the apron. Ripley then dropped Carlito onto the apron, but Morgan wiped out Ripley with a sunset powerbomb off the steel steps into the barricade. JD McDonough then distracted the referee as Finn Balor flew in and hit Priest with a sling blade. Dom followed this up with a 619 and a frog splash, but only for a close near fall. Ripley then went at Morgan again, but McDonough distracted her and the referee. Priest then chucked him over the announce table. Priest then super kicked Balor, but Dom hit a suicide dive. Priest then dropped him with another clothesline on the announce table. Morgan was then all alone in the ring with Rhea Ripley. Ripley hits her with a riptide, stacks her up, and pins her 1, 2, 3. There we go. Really fun, super good, everything you expected kind of match. And the babyfaces, the Terra Twins, as they like to call them, even though Rhea's like 27, 28, and Damien's 42, so how can they be twins anyways? It doesn't matter. Pick up the big victory. So, yeah, we'll see where this does go. But it's like, okay, they won. Now what? Rhea pinned Liv, so I assume that just means Rhea's going to get another shot at the title. That's what makes the most sense. Then we go to the main event. It is Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion. It is Randy Orton, the 14-time World Champion, fighting for the illustrious World Heavyweight Championship. And you may say, they just brought this title back a year and a half ago. What does Randy care about it? Because this belt has the same lineage of the old World Heavyweight Championship, the old World Heavyweight Championship that was Randy's first world title that Randy retired, merged with the WWE Championship. This is the title that Randy says means the most to him because, again, it was his first world title. 2004. He beat Chris Benoit at, I want to say, SummerSlam to win that belt. Benoit had won the triple threat main event of WrestleMania 20, beating Triple H and Shawn Michaels. He then went on, defended it a couple times, and then lost it to Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Then, if you remember, in 2013, Randy Orton was the WWE champion. John Cena was the World Heavyweight Champion. TLC match. They merged the titles together that December. Randy wins. Randy's walking around with both belts and eventually till, well, that next WrestleMania where he does drop the belts. No. Yes, that next WrestleMania where he does drop the belts to Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson in the main event. But yeah, Randy did merge the two titles together, make them one, even though he carried around both for a while. No, it wasn't the next that Bryan won. Bryan didn't win until 15. What was WrestleMania? No, it was the next year. 14 was 30. So, this match is great. Also, it looked like, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like old school Randy Orton trunks, like the design and the look of them, because they looked old school. They looked like an old school Randy design. Anywho, this is great. This was awesome. I love this match. This is one of my new favorite matches I've ever seen. And just say it, better than any match of the week. We had a big show last week from AEW. This match better than anything there. Better than anything we're going to see tomorrow at No Mercy. These two killed it. They're like perfect opponents because these are two of the best guys right now and in a very long time at telling a story in the ring in your match. Not just telling a story with the build and the promos and whatnot, but making you feel that what they're doing means something. What they're doing matters. Every moment is important, and that you're on a ride. And I thought they did that to a T. Samantha Irvin's doing the intro. She introduces Randy Orton, and then up comes Ludwig Kaiser, asks for the microphone, and he does the entrance to the delight of the crowd in Germany. The crowd started to sing for a full minute as the match began, and the two just kind of looked around going, yep, this is the atmosphere. Let's go. Orton then applauded them. And 5 minutes into the match, the crowd began singing again. Orton was amused and even tried to join in. This was crazy. So Gunther wasn't amused, and he chopped Orton down. Orton drove Gunther shoulder first into the steel steps. He targeted Gunther's arm and tossed him into the steel steps again. Orton dropped Gunther onto the announce desk 4 straight times. Orton continued targeting the arm in the ring until Gunther started to mount a comeback, but Orton cut him off with a power slam. Orton then hit a superplex off the middle rope, but also sold it. As you know, he's got a previous neck injury and whatnot. Gunther was mounting a comeback, but Orton poked him in the eye. I'm like, oh, okay. Orton then hit a draping DDT and went for an RKO, but Gunther countered it into a German suplex. Gunther then hit a drop kick and a splash for a 2. Gunther tried, but failed to hit a powerbomb because of his injured arm from Orton earlier. He then used his other arm to hit a clothesline. Gunther tried again to go for the powerbomb, but it was a long struggle. He did eventually hit it, didn't get all the power into it, and got a 2 count off of it. Gunther went for another powerbomb, but Orton suddenly reverses it, counters it into an RKO out of nowhere for a near fall. Orton cleared the German announce table and placed the steel steps in front of them. Gunther then went after Orton, but Orton gave him a back suplex from the steps onto the table, through the table. No. I'm missing something here. He hits him with the steps, back suplex on the steps first, then up the steps through the table. There's a thing there. 2 back suplexes, one on the steps, one off the steps. Orton then did his pose on the steps. That's the wrong pose. That's the Hulk Hogan pose. It's more like this. Or like that. Anywho. Orton then slid Gunther into the ring and set up for an RKO, but Gunther shoved him off and applied a sleeper. As the crowd was dueling for both men again, Orton did eventually break the sleeper and was about to set it for an RKO, but Gunther chopped him across the back. Gunther applied a rear naked choke, but Orton hoisted Gunther off his feet and dropped backwards. Gunther then popped right back up and reapplied the sleeper. Gunther then hit repeated elbows and applied the sleeper yet again. Orton eventually passed out. The referee called the match, and Gunther is retained his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Crowd cheers for Gunther. They go crazy. Huge pop. And that's how the show ends, sort of. So Orton eventually gets up. He and Gunther come together in the middle of the ring, and they shake hands. They embrace and shake hands in the middle of the ring as the show goes off the air and sends us. And my phone's going off. That was weird. Anywho, so they embrace, they shake hands, and they go to the post show. The post show was done not from outside where they did the pre-show, but just up in the upper deck. It was Jackie Redmond, The Miz, Big E, Peter Rosenberg. They stated that they actually got to watch the main event, not from backstage or anything on a monitor, but sitting in the seats they're standing in front of with the crowd, which gave it such a great atmosphere. And I thought that was awesome they did that, because then when they talked about it afterwards, it wasn't, we watched this match backstage and it was so good and this and that, and we could feel and hear the crowd. They were in the crowd. They were the crowd. And they even talked about how Miz was just like, yeah, going like living it up as a fan during this match. And this match was awesome. It delivered, over-delivered in my opinion. Give them all the stars. Like they say, 5 stars is the best you could do. Dave's already broken that rule. I'd go 6 at least. I would give this match 6 stars. If I was rating this on a star rating scale, and I don't, because to myself, I've never sat down and thought about what does it mean to me to give something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so 4 stars. And so, like, I can say, I think it's a 6-star match. But what does that really mean? If someone comes to me and says, why did you give it 6 stars? I go, oh, because I really liked it. I kind of do want to sit down, kind of evaluate a ranking system or a rating system, so that way I can explain. If I say this is a 6-star match, this is a 3-star match, I gave us 2.5, but why? So I may do that eventually and whatnot, and yeah, we'll see. But like I said, one of the best matches I've ever seen. One of my new favorite matches, is at least top 5, and so we go from there. But yeah, that was WWE Bash in Berlin from Berlin, Germany. We still got a whole afternoon and evening to play around with, guys. I love these early shows. And tomorrow we got a regular time show from Denver, Colorado. It is NXT No Mercy. We're going to talk about that show just like we talk about this show. We'll be back live tomorrow talking about all of that. But before we get going, I got to get this poll going. If you are watching live on Twitch, what did you think of Bash in Berlin? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. We'll check the other polls while you guys go vote in that. As far as the... What? Twitter poll never went. Oh, there it is. I was saying, no, I did it. As far as the Threads poll does go, 67% liked the show, 33% thought it was just all right. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 88% liked the show, 6% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. Then someone comments, the end sucked. Why? Because Randy didn't win? You really thought? No, I'm just speculating here. Did this person really think that Randy was going to win? That Gunther was going to drop the belt in Berlin on his first defense? Get out of here. Looking at the YouTube community poll with over 345 votes. 77 people liked it. 77% liked it. 18 people thought it was just all right. And 5% didn't like it. One of the comments here says, amazing pay-per-view. This person calls it paint by numbers. Person says, I love it first time this year. Congratulations to everyone who won. Person called it mid. Person says, I really like... Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to read this comment if it's what I think it's going to be. Okay, they said, and I don't know why you need to compare, but they say, I really liked AEW All In last week, and I was expecting to really like Bash in Berlin, but to be honest, it was just all right. I did really enjoy Punk vs. Drew, but everything else was just okay. Hey, that's your opinion. I'm not going to agree with it, because I didn't think that Gunther and Randy was just okay. And then the person says it was just okay until the main event. Shit again. What? Person didn't like the main event? Did people really not like this main event? Because I loved it. I know I saw some other people really liking the main event as well. Like, I can't find the tweet, but I saw other people saying they liked it as well. But people really did not like this main event. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 79% liked the show, 17% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Now, I'm not sure exactly when, but a little bit later, probably more towards the evening time, we're going to be live Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy, playing some more of that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta. I had a blast playing it last night. And we're going to play and stream some more of that in just a little while. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you tomorrow for NXT No Mercy.